what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Taylor Show. I know, don't worry. If anyone hates that name more than you, it is certainly me. You might be asking yourself, Daniel, why do you have these two ladies next to you? And to which I would answer, listen, they might look like they only breathe through their mouths and not shave their necks, but let me tell you something. These guys are maybe my favorite people in the county, and there's a debate for if they're my favorite people in the state.
In the Tri-County.
That's right. Next to me, I have the famous, you might know him from Into the Layers, Nathan Paling.
Igor. Another one.
I need to sample you. Why haven't I done this yet? And farther to my right is the beautiful and the shaved seal himself. You might know him from Paranormies. It is Stephen Gould. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh.
It's good to be here.
What up, kids?
Thanks for the invite.
That's right.
And the whiskey.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Hard.
It's pretty
You know?
rough life right now.
Yeah, that's right. We're sipping on Blanton's. Oh yeah, we're drinking Blanton's. We're indulging. Steve was so nice that he bought the bottle for us all and left it here so we could enjoy it.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, how nice of you, dude.
You're not going to
You
tell me
good
to make
dude.
that true just because you said it.
How nice of you, dude. How nice. So, what is the constant bane of all of our existence?
Monday.
Well, that's one.
It was a rough day.
Dude, I woke up. I was going to ask you. We're going to probably do little spurts of each show on accident because we're all here. That's the thing. And guess what? It's our channel and we can do whatever the fuck we want. How about that, Steve?
Why was that directed at me?
Oh, you know, and he knows, and we all know.
We know. They know.
We might have an idea, yeah.
They know.
So, but no, me too, dude. You know what? Let's into the layers for a second. I woke up depressed as shit. The most depressed I've probably, and I'm not kidding, woke up in like 2 weeks. I'm not joking.
This is a good rebound.
I know. Why?
I don't know.
Did you wake up shitty?
I didn't wake up shitty, but then it got shitty. Yeah. Real quick.
Just dealing with people?
Yep. Some lady wants money. I don't know.
That's the worst.
Yep.
Expectations, priorities.
Liability. Terrible. Trying to cut out the liability in my life. That'd be nice. That hangs over your head.
Liability's crazy. I thought me and a mutual you both know produced a show this weekend, and the whole time it's going. This is just how I am, right? Even though there's a million things to be thinking about, I'm sitting there going, what if this audio card fails halfway through a show?
Oh, yeah.
What if the new camera glitches? What if we lose everything we're being paid to capture? Guess what calms that narrative?
Nothing.
That's right. Another one.
I was going to say money, but...
Well, yeah. I mean, because at that point, like when you're an entrepreneur, right? If you are wrangling certain things, at some point, the only way around that for me is like, I started telling myself, because there was no answer, it's like, okay, if this goes awry and something happens, you're just working for free.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to tell them, sorry, my bad. I can save what I can save, and it's on me.
Let's do another one.
Why am I turning this down?
Another one.
Dude, I still need to sample your voice. Did I tell you that the last
like
episode of the Daniel Taylor Show, me and Nikki and Laura did a group? Aww.
Yeah.
All at the same
Can
time?
I hear it?
I don't have it programmed. I'm the worst.
Aww.
Count of three. Dude, we should do one with all of us. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's do that.
Steve, have you ever said aw?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how
You mean
apathy
in life?
works. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just the subtle jab. I can see it. I'm gonna get it later. Here we go. 3, 2.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I'm half cocked. Steve, what's new with you?
Not much.
Work.
Yeah.
Loving the new car.
Yeah.
I was talking about it. Yeah, you got a vehicle, personal vehicle.
Take home car so
A new Dodge Charger.
Oh yeah, not the heat pump.
Right.
Yeah.
Go with
Heat
it.
pump?
Go with it.
Not the heat pump.
The Mitsubishi.
Oh, dude, you know what's hilarious is I'm just so trained for a show that I just went with it, had no fucking clue what he said. I'm like, yeah, not that one.
Not the heat. No.
I'm the only one with a memory.
Oh, dude, it's the worst.
Oh,
I love it. So yeah, usually I would bring people on and ask them about whatever they have perspective on or what they do. But you guys, I might wait till we do this show alone.
you're like, I don't give a fuck what you guys.
Yeah, there's an iota of it.
I would.
But hey, you know what's fun is I wanted to pick you guys' brain because, like I said, when we started the idea of the father channel for a bunch of different shows. We're even in the works of, well, you guys know, and they will by the time this is out, pitching and producing shows for other people that we aren't a part of. I'm used to that in terms of production, like the scale of something, the fucking specs, figuring out how to make it work. And by the way, we're still very much figuring out how to make this work. This is the first thing we're filming on this setup, and it very easily could go awry. So if it does, that's why.
If it looks lousy, be patient.
That's right. But yes. So the thing is, I'm used to that shit. Like I told you guys when we started, it's like most of the creative endeavors I've ever done lost money. That's the nature of creation. Creativity is so subjective that it's like, you don't know. You also might think, even if you're not tone deaf, right? And even when you are sometimes, you think whatever you're doing is the best thing, period. You get excited when you're making something.
You do?
I don't.
Oh, I do.
But people, they
also, that automated spanking machine wasn't really that
it
great
sold
of an idea.
great in Tokyo. You're like, well, that's one market. We need to extrapolate. But I was so used to that anyway, and I'm used to the stress and the anxiety and the mania of a new idea. I'll start here with our show. Did you have any spells of that? I know you're not producing as much behind the scenes, but if you had any of that, thinking about how the show will go, what we might end up carving that statue out to be finer, and 2, how have you dealt with my mania?
You know what blows my mind is people that can take 2 questions and then remember the second question, or the first question.
I got you.
I fucking have no. I don't.
You're like, I don't remember right now what the fucking second question is.
What is this? Okay, so have I thought about the production? Yeah.
Has it taxed you at all?
It hasn't taxed me. No.
Good.
When I'm riding around, sometimes I'll do joke ads.
I love it.
But I also think about where it could go and my own. You mentioned a spin-off show, and I think about what I would do with that sometimes. So yeah, but it hasn't taxed me. This is not taxing whatsoever. No.
It's so funny too, because I wonder how much. This is a quick segue, but I wonder how much, because on Into the Layers we talk about this a lot, and we have been playing our shows. I gotta remember to talk to them a little more, because I like the idea of bringing them in. We very much look like all the podcasts we were talking about earlier, like you were playing clips off of, except the only fourth wall they kind of break is to their producers. They never talk to the audience or the camera, very rarely. I think it's fun. I like the fact that why not bring them in?
It would be great to get us focusing more that way, is when we have a topic, bringing it up on a screen.
We could do that. Yeah, we should do that. Also, when we do lives and then we just export the show, well, it would be on YouTube at the end anyway, because it was live. You would just save the video. We could very much have this thing where you're actually talking to a comment section, people watching and tuning in live. Anyway, neither here nor there. My point was, I think we say that a lot on Into the Layers about how this isn't taxing, and how I said one time that out of all my creative stuff, this actually kind of refuels me. And I've been running the other videos past our own little focus group, and everyone really responded well to that. They could tell the way we were posing that narrative was true. And it is, and you can feel it because it is true. That inherent excitement that comes from, oh, this is really fulfilling. Yeah. Even though it's work, it's fucking work. I mean, this is insane.
I mean, I think for you,
it is a lot of behind the scenes.
I'm not gonna lie, this is not work.
Well, yeah, but so the only work I'm having is trying to fit more in my gut, dude.
Remember the second question is
I'm glad of that. How about you? And then we'll go to the second round.
So kind of the same thing. I think my approach to it from the very beginning is I kind of don't really allow it to stress myself out. When we start talking about different issues, production wise, that we've encountered, or that you've encountered, I should say, and how to solve them, kind of part of me is I totally understand where you're coming from, and that we want to get those resolved, and we want it to look as best as possible and everything like that. But at the same time, I'm I don't want to take it to a point where it's hard to enjoy because it's so much stress. So I'm I just kind of block that. I get to that certain threshold, and I just kind of block it out, and I'm we'll worry about it when we need to worry about it. And focus on, because like I said, from day one, it's whether we have of one viewer or 1,000 viewers or 1 million viewers, it just boils down to I like hanging out and chatting.
Hell yeah.
And kind of just the process. But
and I think I envy that. I do like that kind of I wish I had that cavalier
it's hard for you though too, because of that's anything in this realm, anything in the production or media realm has always been work for you. So
I've learned not to cut people off from my last shows, because like 4 times I wanted to jump in when Nikki was talking for no specific reason. It just happened to be her, not Laura. And every time I didn't, she finished what I was about to jump in and interrupt and say, just like you were about to say. You've known me for a long time now.
Yeah.
We're bordering on longer than we haven't in a couple of years, which is wild. But in that context, I was going to say, I actually find myself like, it's work. There is work. There's a lot to figure out, but I fucking love the jigsaw puzzle of figuring shit out like this. I like to make things look better. I don't think of it like, there's inherent stress, but it's also rewarding. Like, because the cool thing is, I have a lot of friends that are creative geniuses, right? And
Thank you.
some of,
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot, yeah.
Some of them just, they have a level of comfortability that they stop at, which is fine for them. They made me realize that there is no like ultimate like threshold. It's whatever you impose. It's all self-imposed. I like the challenge of trying to make something look better within a certain budget or a certain room or whatever, because why not? I like that. Why not? Yep. If you stop, like I remember one time my stepdad, I wanted to quit T-ball. I was a little kid. And he goes, if I let you quit the baseball team, you'll always quit the baseball team.
It's true.
And I was like, motherfucker. And I'm sure I heard it somewhere, but I was like, I got it like that. And I was like 7, 6. I was like, yeah, right. You're always, you got to see it through. And then I didn't play another year.
It also depends on the reason. You know what I mean? It depends on like the reason.
Yeah, and he knew the reason was just laziness, or I didn't know. And I mean, even if some of that stemmed from like a stubbornness, like I played ball, my daddy played ball, you're going to play ball. Even if it was that, it doesn't matter, because I took it as you got to see it through to have the right, full circle thought on it. Right. And you can't jump out of something half baked and think you've got the clear picture. You can't.
Yeah, especially with a season of something like that or anything. You've got to see it through to a certain point. Otherwise, you don't even really know if it was fulfilling or if it was worthwhile or anything like that. You're just, it got hard, I quit. Like maybe the end result would have been worth it and you would have.
Right. You don't know. You stopped too short because things were tough. Yeah. It was a good thing anyway. But no, and in my answer to the first question is no. I don't think it's been too crazy. Actually, I think it's been kind of an attainable goal. The other thing with creative things, and I like that you guys are like joining in on one, like a big one, is that you'll see that with other things, we're jumping into a market that is saturated. Plenty over. But the good side of oversaturation is there's plenty of listeners, right? So you are putting out a product that is kind of, not that it's being looked for specifically, but there's an audience, right?
Yeah, I switch them all the time.
Yeah, same.
I get bored of one and go.
But that's the thing. It's like we're lucky in that context. Like when I'd have musicians like in here and recording them, I love every type of music. The show, like I said, mentioned the show we produced was like all types of eclectic and cultured and different. It was not a pop music event by any means, right? But there are things you can find in it that are just as appetizing and fulfilling, right? But that being said, I'll have some acts in here and they're like a country act or an R&B act or like not a K-pop act, but something along that vein. And as a branding mind, like, oh, that's going to work. There's an audience for it. The odds of that working are much better than some like Irish influenced singer song, whatever. It just is what it is. Anyway, I digress. The second question, have you noticed any taxation from my mania as you being each on the cast of your own shows? In a bad way. I'm sure you've noticed my mania, but has it affected you?
No. No, not really. I think we've talked about this before where it's like, and actually it almost has the opposite effect where I can maybe center more because you're just like, I'm just watching you.
It's like you're
a
homeopathic. I'm like, you're creating your own homeopathic medicine. Did you ever hear the theory behind homeopathy?
No.
It was giving your body trace amounts of things that actually elicit the negative response. So like I had severe anxiety. My aunt manages or is one of the high ups at some health food store. And she's like, you got to take this homeopathic anxiety med. Just try it before you get on real pharma meds, right? I'm like, all right, whatever. I have nothing to lose. And she tells me it's going to elicit anxiety in the smallest, tiny elements, because that makes your body produce things to calm you down.
Yeah.
So in effect, it's
so you're like,
right.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So you are the medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice little paragraph into that analogy. Hey, bud. What are you doing over there?
Want some
Just
arsenic?
listening.
Want some arsenic?
Yes, please.
It'll help you not react to arsenic.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, if you dose arsenic, no, we're gonna get canceled. They'll be like, don't ever talk about that ever on.
We highly recommend that you drink
Cobra venom.
If you clean things, mix bleach and ammonia because it double the power. Like, absolutely don't do that.
Whoa, yeah, don't do that.
So has my mania affected you in any way? Steve's like, sorry, go.
Yes and no. I think
Steve, lean in more.
lean
Yeah, I just realized you're like getting cut off. God damn. All right, we're good.
So yes and no. It would a lot more if I hadn't known you a while, because I would feel more. I guess. How do I explain that?
I was waiting for you to go. I'd feel more bad for you, but I hate you, so it's all good.
So sometimes I just like to poke and prod, like, yeah, I think that would still look shitty.
Oh my God.
I mean, and what if this happens? What if the camera falls over into a bowl of fruit punch?
Steve just texted me. I'm trying to ask him something production-wise about our little show, and he goes, man. He goes, I'll answer that in a minute, but that's a mighty fine mixer you got there. It'd be awful if something happened to it. It'd be just so... You have that insured?
Like, you ever think about how, I mean, the tripod's stable, but not
right.
really that objectively stable.
That's it. Oh.
You're duct taping it to the ground.
I think there's an air current in here that's evaporating my drink faster
Yeah, me too.
than your drink.
Seems like
Yeah.
the case.
It hasn't evaporated Steve's, though, so some reason he's out of the jet
It
stream.
goes like
there.
this.
The Gulf Stream. Yeah. There's also an air current.
It goes like this.
Dude, also, I'm sweating like a pig.
Yeah, same.
Are you guys hot?
Yeah, I'm drinking this fast because I'm hot. That's
I'm
why.
dying.
That's
If we
why-
look all types of nasty, we are. So
This is this
Oh.
has electrolytes in it, right?
This is rehydration.
dude, shows. How do you guys like the branding of your shows?
Good.
I don't have a show.
Our show.
Our show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's fun. I put a lot into ours because it's like, again, it's just accidental. Like, it also has to fit the theme. So like if we're talking about all this like crazy shit, we're all over the place, it has to look like that, which it does. Me and Steve's vibe is two dipshits talking about paranormal stuff, and that intro says that.
Right.
Mine is like, think I'm self-important, Mr. Production, and in a bunch of different veins, so here's mine.
I bet everybody.
Well, it's also just production-y, like it makes it.
Well, right, that's the vibe, right.
I bet everybody would like that though. Everybody wants their own show.
You know what the funny thing is I didn't, and you guys could vouch for that. I've said it 55,000
I don't think
times.
so. I think you do. I think secretly everybody, even if nobody watches.
No. I do. I like the idea of having a show. I didn't want the Daniel Taylor show.
No, not named
Because I was like, God damn it, dude. Like, could you bend over and suck yourself off any hard? It's like, come on. But it was a recommendation from a friend who is very careful to check my ego, even if it didn't need it. He's very conscious of it. So when he said that, I was like, that might work. The glory was to pierce the veil. I was sending these guys, mostly you, a bunch of ideas to try to come up with a name for mine. Because
I was sending you a bunch of ideas.
Right. And we would riff. Same with me and Andrew, a mutual friend. We were riffing, coming up with all this stuff. Everything's taken. Everything. The most abstract, off the wall names are taken.
Yeah.
There's so many podcasts. It's like you can't lose.
I think you should try the one you just said though. That was a good one.
What?
The one you just said before. I'm not gonna say it.
What is it?
Just say it.
What one?
Dying in here.
Oh, I thought you meant mine. I thought you were being funny. I'm dying in here.
Yeah.
That would be good. Is there a podcast special? After I said that, I thought of, isn't I'm Dying Up Here a podcast? I mean,
You should
stand up special.
I don't know.
Doesn't apply, doesn't it?
You should do it.
No, it
but you should do a podcast where you.
Here
tell
we go.
jokes.
Look
You
at his
should do
face.
it.
Look at his face.
Just call it crickets, but
Yeah.
I think you should.
If I
you should
had
do
fucking crickets, you would have just got them.
You should do a comedy special.
Oh my, me?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That'd be a funny.
I should build airplanes too. Be just as successful. But no, it's I think of it less as Joe Rogan experience and more the Tom Green show. And I think that's the way.
That was
You got to get out in front of it.
that was a niche show.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was like the Daniel Tosh, the end of a Daniel Tosh joke.
Yeah.
That was a
Yes. His
for-
audience was carved thin.
For 4 people.
If Tom Green was
I
at a
watched
deli.
it. I watched it.
just
so.
whittles it down.
Oh
throughout
my
the,
God.
The course until you get to the end. There's like one person that's still
Yeah.
with you on the ride.
You mean the Tosh one? The top. Yeah. Dan.
Dude.
Yep.
Well, fun
What's
stuff.
my next question? I want more questions.
You like it?
I love it.
All right, we're going to do a spitball round. Ready?
Interview me.
Here we go. I'll do. You know what? Yeah. Let's do that. I'm gonna go light though. I'm not gonna get too crazy. Just because.
I'm gonna go deep.
You're like, well, fuck you. He just chugs the rest of his thing. He throws his glass.
What do you mean the rest of it? There's nothing left.
Yeah, this, and you wonder why he gets up and pees 15 times.
Only had 5.
Yeah. What aspects? Because I mean, home inspections are home inspections, right? Not really. Because we talked about this one week about how one of the flagship companies in the state that does this botched one. And we were talking about imposter syndrome, how you went in and the owners were like, wow, this was plenty more thorough, a lot more careful, a lot more accountable. And it dispels that. But I don't care about the process.
Okay.
How has inspecting homes affected your mental health? Good or bad, or both?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, give me a little of both. How has it affected you negatively?
So negatively, I was talking about the liability side of it. So every time I go in, I'm covering stuff that may not be like in their interest.
Right.
Like if I put it in the report, but it's in my interest to put it in there because
Right.
of liability. So
Right.
I cover my.
And you have to. That's what you're being paid to do. Can't tell them.
So what causes you the most stress as a result of that? Are you worried about the conflict of other people being pissed off at you, or are you just worried in
People don't want the bad
liability?
news kind of thing.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about giving people bad news. I'm just worried about like in a year, somebody comes and goes, hey, you missed this big thing.
Oh, yeah.
So not necessarily about things you find, but things that you're afraid you might not find.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, I'm not worried about things. I find I'm real proud of myself.
I heard
for
that
things.
wrong too. I heard it the same way. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
didn't necessarily hear it wrong. I was kind of questioning.
Yeah, I thought you meant people are expecting when they're about to buy a house, they want their dream to come true. They want everything you say back. It's flying colors.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's sound. And when they don't get it, you deal with the residuals, of course.
Mm,
And there's
no.
that too.
I don't deal with that.
Oh, really? Oh,
No.
the listing agent in the bank would, right.
Yeah,
You
so
just
it's going
send the
to be,
report.
that's going to be like,
He's like, no, this lady was crying the other day, and I was like, oh, this sucks, but see ya.
sucks for you.
He's like,
Yeah.
well, make the check payable to Nathan.
No, yeah, I was doing one the other day and she's like, nope, stop.
What?
We're done. Just the stuff I was finding, the stuff the septic inspector found. She's like, nope.
Was it the current owner or the purchaser?
No, they're not there usually. The sellers are supposed to leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. No influence. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Because again, we're not robots. You might get some guys on the job that are a little more pushover-y and aim to please people, and they might smudge, or they might be more empathetic and feel bad for a seller. Like, listen, I need this fucking thing to check out. I've got medical bills, and it's like,
So who was saying
the
stop?
sellers.
It was
you never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
purchaser that was saying stop. Or the realtor?
The buyer was like, yeah, we can just stop this one. I'm not buying it.
Oh.
Right there. But she just called me back, and we have another one set up for Thursday.
Good.
So,
Hell yeah. So she liked you, liked your vibe.
Yeah.
How has it affected you positively?
Because
Because you've done a lot of things. Not to interrupt you again, but I think it's cool. Like if you haven't watched, if you're like finding this episode from like my Facebook, and you haven't seen any of our other shows, which is a good chance you haven't yet. Nate has done a lot of shit, dude.
been around.
You are a jack of many trades. Been a lot of places, done a lot of things, and very different things. It's like it'd be one thing if you're like, I was a cement worker, then I was a general contractor, now I'm a home inspector. It's like, all right, that all lines up a bit. But you're like, I was a Mexican cage wrestler, I was a teacher, I was an Amazon rainforest guider, and now I'm a home inspector. Be like, okay.
So
Like, also, I was governor of
And an
Minnesota.
amateur astronaut.
I don't mention that because that's like, I think I lose
That
credibility.
you were the governor of Minnesota?
Yeah. Nobody wants
Yeah,
to hear
don't
that.
tell people that.
Nope.
God.
Nope. I think I lose credibility with that, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. They were like, oh, you were a Spanish teacher and now you're a home inspector. Like,
You know what's hilarious is I get the sentiment, or not from me, but I could see how people might think that. But what's hilarious is knowing you and knowing the emotional, mental reasons you might have changed. I think you gain credibility. I think you could give more honestly in what you're doing now and at your own accord than you could do under the, the structure of a scholastic, especially in the climate it was in.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, just like from people who are going, wait, you're inspecting my house, but you were a Spanish teacher 5 years ago? Like that.
Right.
I don't want that.
They don't see the connect.
I want like a guy that's
20
been doing
years.
this for 30 years.
Give me an ex-contractor that's taking, right.
Yeah.
That's a double-edged sword, though, too, because you could also have somebody that's been doing it for 20 years when the requirements were a lot less strict.
That's true.
And the codes were a lot less strict and stuff
How
like that.
is the continuing ed?
They've kind of got to remember like the newer things, and they're just
there must be continuing ed, right? Because of that.
It's I mean, you're supposed to do it, but it's pretty terrible. It's not. I haven't found anything. I actually thought about starting a like series on maybe YouTube,
like
or
a training.
Yeah, just for like my own benefit, and then other people that can't find. Like I have questions all the time.
Yeah,
and it's hard to find the answers sometimes.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know,
is there? Who's like the authority that you would,
So my organization is ASHI, which is American Society of Home Inspectors, and then so they have education, which hasn't been good in the past. They just updated a bunch of stuff, so hopefully that's better. And then McKissick is another company that offers classes, but they're just kind of terrible, like a lot of spelling, grammar errors, and things like that.
So nothing like here's the part of the structure you should pay attention to.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff going on with other people, but it just seems like it's hard to do. Like you got to go there.
Yeah. So how was it? I got you going down a different road. How has it affected you positively?
So positively, what's been really cool is I've known since I was 18 that being mindful, meditating is real beneficial, obviously. But being mindful is like huge. I mean, you can look up studies and how mindfulness affects everything.
Living consciously is huge. Yeah.
And when you're inspecting, you are right there. If you're not, because if you're not, I mean, I'm scared of liability. If you're not right there and you're looking, I mean, because you can see, like, you can look at things. Like I've been looking out the window for a while now, and I didn't even notice there was like a building back there.
Oh, really?
But when you're on the job and you're looking at things and you're really seeing things and you're seeing like water, like minor water stains in wood, and it's crazy.
It's kind of it forces your hand to be
forces you to be
conscious
there,
in the moment.
present, yeah.
And that you've seen that actually help your normal everyday presence.
Yeah,
being present.
Yeah, you're able to kind of switch things into that mode and look, and
that's cool. That is super cool.
Even like in nature. So when I started home inspecting and I started seeing things, it got me out even in nature, like looking at minutia almost, like mushrooms that I never noticed, and things that you never saw before.
Well, so, I have that experience too with like learning how, even if I don't like go deep in the paint with certain things, I'm an interested guy. I'm an inquisitive type guy. Did my roof just cave in? Did you guys hear that?
Oh.
I thought I heard like something disastrous.
Wasn't that me breathing though?
You're like, I dosed your whiskey.
So I think part of what he was saying.
Well, that's funny because have you ever heard a sentence that ends with "and"?
Anything you say, yeah. I just assume it's.
You know what, Steve? Like, you know what you do for me? I never understood people that get into ASMR until I met you and realized you do the opposit for me. However,
I just ramp you up.
However calm ASMR makes people that like it, you do you're a big flip.
Yeah.
Crack it.
And now we go forward. Now we move on.
Down.
What? Me and Steve are totally just about to make out. What did you say?
I said crack an egg on your head and let the yolk drip down.
Did people used to do that to you as a kid? And then they're like, now you're on top of the Eiffel Tower. And you fall off and they shove you and you're like,
oh, I didn't do that.
Oh, those motherfuckers. So, I love how that has helped you mentally. That's cool. Yeah. That's really cool. That's a really cool thing to take away from just a new job. And that's cool. But that shows your mindset.
Have you ever tried doing a home inspection on mushrooms?
So
he's like, yes, but when I sobered up, I realized I was just in my swimming pool the whole time. Like, there's a lot of fucking water in this basement. I love it. Steve.
I'm not, am I answering that question?
No.
No. Steve, how has your job affected you negatively?
I am sweating the
Dude,
fuck.
It's okay. It's going to be a sweaty one.
There's a lot of water in this basement right now.
I'm never sitting in that chair again. How has your job affected you negatively?
Oh, I mean, just cynicism, I guess you'd say.
I know, I'm the same. This is this is gross, dude.
You're sweating that bad?
Dude, I am too. How are you not?
I mean, I'm sweating a little bit.
This guy has
a little sticky.
His body mass is double ours, and he's dry as a cucumber.
Yeah, because it takes forever to get
dry. I'm just, I'm just a little bit sticky. I'm not
on
sweaty.
A pleather slip and slide right now.
You're like, P.S. Cucumbers aren't dry.
He's
I
like,
don't get it.
I'm just
slowly just going down.
He has to keep. He's like trying to stay in the chair.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just it's easy to become cynical. Deal with a lot of the. Not only.
What's the word, Steve?
Not only.
Jaded.
Yeah, jaded. I mean, but I'm saying like I just say it deal with the problem. Children of the population, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And even when I'm not, I'm dealing with typically, decent people. A lot of them are decent people at their worst moments, so to speak. Yeah. So it's easy to just only see that and not realize, like, sometimes I just got to step outside on like a day off, and it's good to have friends that aren't involved in that field. Like a lot of the guys I work with, have friends that are exclusively in law enforcement and stuff like that.
I could see how that might create an echo chamber.
That's why it's a big part of why I don't focus a lot. I don't pay a lot of attention to our group Snapchat. That's a bunch of friends of mine that are in law enforcement, just because I just don't want to hear about all that stuff on my days off. And not to mention they work in a different area. That doesn't.
Do you
really
find that it could be younger officers that are more in those because they're not burnt out by it yet? I'd imagine a lot of veterans are like, dude, I don't want to see this on my free time. I deal with it all day.
Somewhat, but there's also some that just, I don't know. Yeah, to some extent. I mean, there's guys that just don't. It's what they do all the time. It's what they think about all the time. I don't know. I mean, different personalities for sure. Like, I think a certain personality tends to gravitate towards that, and others don't.
Right. That makes sense. Less of an age thing, more of an identity thing. Right.
Yeah, somewhat. But then again, yeah. So it's just easy to become cynical, and sometimes I need to step outside of that and realize that, like, that's not what the world really is. It's just what I.
Unfortunately, it's the thing you have to. Right. That's just what you're seeing. You can notice anything you're keying into.
Right.
The beige station wagon we had mentioned in one of our episodes. I was at one of ours, dude. I was going to say to you, but then I didn't go down this road because I was like, it's not really the tone of our show. We were talking about how we briefly touched on this. I don't even know if you'll remember it. I don't even remember. I think it was episode 2, but I could be way off. Where we talked about how it's funny that you deal with people lying a lot.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. And you seem to be more trusting of people's accounts than me. And I never went down because it's not really the tone of our show. So I didn't go down, I didn't travel that because I was like, that's a cool topic. I think what it might be, and this is just a concept. Tell me what you think. This is just my theory. I was not so much lied to. Manipulated sounds really bad, and I don't mean it in a really tragic way, but manipulated, very young and a lot. So I was
not
like,
in a malicious way. Just
no, just in a general way. Like they didn't maybe not even realize they were doing it, right? But I was manipulated all the time, emotionally, mentally. So the thing with me is at such an impressionable age, that was kind of nurtured in. So even though my adult life, I haven't had to deal with a lot of that. Like I don't hang out with liars. I don't deal with liars, right? I think because it happened so young and impressionable, where I don't see you having to have, I mean, you didn't grow up with people that people weren't lying to you. I mean, you have family members that are very passionate, bordering on
dramatic, and
you said it, not me, but not lie to you. So isn't that, what do you think about that as a bystander? Isn't that funny?
I think.
What's the conclusion here? What am I?
That I don't think it's much more, by the way. I'm not saying you believe everybody and I don't believe anybody. I'm saying it's very slight.
Part of what I think it is for me is, and I just didn't really make the connection until you just said that, is that, like, from that drama, so to speak, that passion came a lot of, like, well-intended, like, they genuinely believe what they're saying, even though it may not be the objective truth.
Which is
it's
way
what
different.
They genuinely believe.
Yeah.
And so I take that stance with a lot of people that I'm just like, okay. And I just, in general, hear a lot of stories. I'm like, okay, I think this person's being honest. I think that person's being honest. I don't think either one is actually what happened.
Right.
It's just their perception of what happened. There's a lot of emotions involved. There was a lot of, just heightened emotions and perception. And things that alter your perception, things that you hear something that somebody said and it's different in your mind because of what's going on.
So you do or don't think that theory holds any weight?
Specifically
to you and me.
Oh, that impacted.
That might be why I'm more skeptical of people, and you're a little. more...
I think for sure it is. Yeah. Yeah, but
it's not.
I didn't make the connection about my upbringing.
Right.
Being like, okay, that's what they genuinely believe. They're just being really passionate and dramatic about it.
Which is why you also do have a discerning mindset, because you had to. Right. But the fact that they were being genuine about it, even if they were off base, is a total different thing.
But I also didn't realize it until I got a little bit older and was out and kind of escaped that environment and dealt more with people, the general population.
Right.
And realized that, like, okay, like people that had certain impacts on me were well intended, just like I said, just kind of, passionate.
Right. Well, right. No one's the villain in their story.
Right.
And that's so crucial. We always forget. It's like, it's so easy to feel like scorned. It's so easy to feel like somebody slighted you. If the story you're baking in your head is they meant it and they did it to hurt me and they did it to fuck me up. It's like they didn't.
Right.
I
tend to move away from that. Even with people that I don't like, I tend to think
Same.
that they're not trying. Like, people don't generally consciously do something they perceive as bad or negative.
Fuck no.
There's the justification for it in their mind or their, from their perception, and they just, it's just the way they are. It's, they think they're.
It's crucial though. It's how you get out of the victimization. It's easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. I mean, my family did that. That's what they did. I mean, it was like they felt validated in these scenarios. Never had any personal conviction, accountabilities, and I do it honestly to supplement that. I'm so careful not to do that. I actually harm myself. Something you and I talked about on one of the End of the Layers episodes of, if you're trying to be a nice guy and that's your goal, but you're being nice to everyone but you.
Right.
You're in fact not being a nice guy.
I've dealt with
period
that as well too. Like I've oftentimes not acted like something pissed me off or upset me just because I don't want that person to feel like, because they didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Like that kind of irritates me or pisses me off, but it wasn't wrong, so I'm gonna ignore the fact that it irritated me or pissed me off. So I kind of like withhold being genuine at times because I just don't want that person to feel bad about the fact that they said something that isn't wrong or untrue or whatever, Which,
and you and I have talked about this too, where it's like the problem with not being upfront and honest. I say this and I'm a skipping record, and I am checking with our little focus groups or group if I'm sounding redundant, and they don't think so. Doesn't mean I'm not, but I have to reiterate it, and it's not because I want it pounded in people's head. It's that what if they don't see any of the other episodes where we've said it? I want them to know. Our mission statement with this entire channel, not just all of our individual shows, is upfront, open, honest. We're here. We're vulnerable. This is who we are. We don't think we're special. We're just having fun. We do this exact same thing when we're sitting on our ass on my porch or at your place at the pool smoking a cigar. This is just what we do. We just thought it would be fun to do a podcast. Why not?
So wait, what was your question?
So, and I was just going to come back to that. Thanks for the reminder. My question was,
I told you, man. I don't know.
As a voyeur in that conversation, right? What do you pick out from that? Do you like, because if I was sitting back and I wasn't us and I was listening, I'm so nuts. I'm like, I always like, I don't need a fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson to do a case study on archetypes and caricatures and like how things affect people. And I'm endlessly interested in that. Like,
he wouldn't, he's not a psychologist.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
You're not a psychologist either.
He could do it.
And you just proved my point. That's exactly why I would listen to everybody, you fuck.
So you were asking, so you were saying that you grew up in that kind of environment, and so now you are really vigilant to see who's lying to you.
And at sometimes to my own detriment, untrusting.
Okay, and then you were, and then Steve said, it was normal.
And the counter was, even though he deals with people that lie all the time, he seems to be more naturally trusting. What is your take on that?
Because he grew up in that kind of
I think it depends too. I don't mean to interrupt. I think it depends on.
Yeah, you never.
Again, I'm not saying leaps, by the way.
Right.
Nice.
I think it depends on I'm not necessarily trusting in the sense of when something directly impacts me or when it's involved in my personal life. But I think a lot of it that too also comes from like sometimes for me, like I can assume somebody's telling the truth. And it's kind of inconsequential. Like it doesn't. I don't necessarily allow it to impact my perception. I just think I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
so here's
that's
my
true.
Neil deGrasse Tyson take on this: is that you've been hurt by it.
Give me a Malcolm Gladwell take, so this guy doesn't get tripped up on names.
So
another one.
So you've been hurt by it, I guess, in a way, and he hasn't. So he has less risk of like he's just kind of like separated from it, and where you're not
hurt. That was the key.
Yeah.
That's the that was the key I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
Because it's not exposure.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people lying to you every day don't really personally affect you in any way.
He's not. He goes home.
Right. So they're still lying, and you see how much people lie.
And even the misconceptions from my upbringing and things like that, like or from just in general family life and everything, were I kind of minimize it in general anyway because I'm just that way. But like it's just minimally impactful. Like it didn't really didn't affect my development or my life. It just as any of us do when we grow older, we're like, oh, I always thought this, but that's not really what's going on.
Right.
But
so that's Nate.
Another one.
But that is funny, right? Because it's not really saturation. It's I don't know what the term would be.
It's not exposure. It's
no,
just the fact that
sensitivities. The gravity of the event. Like we've talked about one time on our. I hate segmenting like this. I'm referencing back to things people can see. We've talked about this together at length. Just from knowing each other so long. But specifically, you and I talked about this on an episode of like, I said one time that I had a friend growing up that didn't really go through anything traumatic, given everything, totally normal life, spoiled really. And even if his home life wasn't good in his reality, he didn't have to experience it. The fucking guy lived with me. But
in 10th grade, his parents divorced.
That's right, Nate remembers. So that fucked that poor guy up.
Yeah.
And
the
it's
worst
like
thing that
people
happened to you
would
was still the worst thing that happened to you.
Well, there you go. So we've talked about it a million times, but that's true.
Ooh, can you get a clap on that one?
Well,
That's not really my thing.
No, but still,
I stole it.
I've never heard that.
I told you. That's what we talked about.
Sorry, he's never heard of anybody important.
I fucking love him. Yeah, there you go. Fuck you.
No one's ever said that.
But no, I'd said that it's like your perception on your trauma is the only thing that matters. You don't hold yourself up in context to other people's trauma.
You got to say it dumb so I can understand it. Like
if it hoits, it hoits.
It hoits.
I gotta stop. I mentioned that too. I have a lot of Southern friends and not family, but they've become family. And every time I make a dipshit point, I do it in a Southern accent. I gotta stop doing that.
Think of it this way: if you did to your privates what Daniel does overnight, you'd go to the ER, but it doesn't hurt him. Just because it hurts you doesn't mean it would hurt him.
I've built up the scabs, the scar tissue,
the resilience. Yeah,
Steve, that was you know what? I mean, no, that was good. Let's rewind real quick.
Another one.
I can't get over how accurate.
Dude,
that
he's
sounds.
practiced this for a while.
I've been riding around the car.
One.
A little lower.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
There you go.
You
gotta like staple your tongue to the bottom of your mouth.
Out your mouth a little more.
Oh my God! 45 minutes in.
15 minutes left.
Look at us go. Are you dying, dude?
I'm fucking dying.
I'm dying.
I need
I'm
a
hot
whiskey,
as
though.
Fuck.
Actually, no, I don't.
Hey, can we take when we're done? Do you guys want to again? Most people would just shut the fuck up about this, but do you guys want to take a taco break and then maybe do a episode of one of the other shows?
And talk a little bit more about stuff.
Ooh.
Taco a little bit.
That was terrible.
I don't know what one, because you know what's funny is I think this show would have been better had I been like no filter. There's certain things I'm not talking about in case we do one of the other shows.
Just don't do it.
There's a good one though. I don't want to jump in. Hey, what? Go.
I was gonna say.
Don't also
Steve's a snake over here.
raise your hand or something. Don't start your sentence
I'm a
5
snake.
seconds early with a. Hey guys.
I'm getting uncomfortable.
Were you getting turned on a little bit? And they get snakes.
No, I just
really
wanted to add. You asked me how my jobs impact me negatively.
Wait, stop.
The positive
how does it? Thank you, Steve.
So I was going to go back to that.
Nate, shut the fuck up.
It was just something that I was going to say then, but I think I was waiting for the second part of the question.
Steve, lean in here more, and it's not on you. I framed this too tight.
Okay.
Sorry. I just don't want you to be cut off because you're going to look at you.
I'd rather be cut off.
But anyway, sorry.
And I think the viewers would prefer, but anyway.
Yeah, they would for sure. But
another one.
I think it's
Nate. Like, don't.
Giving me valuable perspective as far as on my worst experiences are not as bad as some people's like everyday experiences. So that's
You know what's hilarious, by the way?
Not that.
I want to cut you off again to tell you about why cutting
that's
you off
essentially the end of it.
before that was better. Was that what you would have said anyway?
That's what I was planning on saying.
Which is hilarious because by us interrupting you and talking about the perspective of trauma, your positive is the perspective of trauma,
It really
which is
yeah.
that's when you know it was a good show. That's crazy. That's what you're saying. You're saying like seeing other people's average day makes you appreciate your worst days. That's fucking cool and invaluable. Do you realize how lucky, right? This sounds crazy. You're employed to do it. And you don't have to. You choose on top of being employed. But still, do you know how lucky that bounces? You know how many people skate through life without ever even thinking about that? Comparing their whatevers to other people's? I mean, it's crazy.
I still complain every day about every little thing.
And you will, whatever.
But I just remind myself at the end of the day, or typically, even when I'm dealing with something, I'm like, I know I shouldn't be upset with this. I'm very privileged, but fuck this place.
Oh, dude. I love it. Oh, so I had an idea in our wrapping up sort of time frame here. I have an idea about when I have you guys back on. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
No.
I really want to tell you. Does that sway your opinion?
No.
Fuck.
No, you can tell me.
Do you want me to tell you, Steve, and I'll just mute his headphones?
No, I can't wait.
So I'm gonna buy us
No.
the hot sauces, all 10.
Dude, I came up. This
Oh
was
my
my
God.
idea. My idea.
You didn't tell me
Yeah,
this.
you were drunk.
Did you
said
tell me
it.
this?
Yeah, I did.
When?
Probably at
When
my
we were
pool-
drinking
at the pool.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, the over pour
Let
night.
us. Oh, we want to break the fourth wall and pierce the veil. I brought a bottle of Blanton's to Nate's, and he pours the drinks. And this is how much we drink Blanton's. Seeing the drink didn't freak me out. Seeing the bottle, I'm like, we just opened it, dude. It's I'm not even kidding. More than a third gone. It's almost half gone, and I'm like,
We must have been already. Did we already have a drink?
I know.
I have no
So what I think is we thought we stacked the ice for like we do here so we can sip the whole show, but I don't think we did.
And I didn't.
And then you filled it. So you really did tell me that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't remember
The
that.
other thing with Blanton's is about the bottle. If you just kind of swish it like this, you can get a twister going, and it just goes right down your gullet.
That's a legit trick to chug things is to get for the inertia.
When he wasn't watching.
So anyway, hey Nate, thank you for the good idea because I think a fun thing about it, like we were talking about maybe doing skits and stuff on this because we could like emulate other shows for mine because I don't have a vein like you and I have something very ironed out at least in terms of what we do. Maybe not how we do it.
Right.
You and I have something obviously that pigeonholes us into some categories, even though we're learning that it's really not as closed off as we thought. I don't. Mine relies on interviewing people. I really don't want to do a solo show. I don't think I have enough shit to talk about. So we could do things that are like for fun that kind of emulate famous shows.
I have a
One of
question.
them being a Hot Ones thing. I have a question. Right, don't lose yours. You lose yours. Tell me your question. I won't lose mine.
How many people do you think will die if we do the Hot Ones show in this room?
I'm dying right now. If that
That's what I mean.
gives
How
you an
many
idea.
of us?
We won't do it in here. We'll do it in the dining room. We'll set the
Okay.
lights and shit.
All right.
That'll be a fun production. Do either of you have anything? Do either of you really like spicy shit?
Yeah, I love it. Do you know
No,
what
it would
the
be
Hot
I
Ones? Do you know what the Hot
fucking
Ones
love
thing
some
is?
spice.
Do you know what it is?
What?
It's
The hottest what?
Does he know what the Hot Ones thing?
Oh,
hot
of course,
sauces.
yeah.
Sampling hot
Okay.
sauces
No,
or something like that. I
it's
don't
a
know.
show.
Steve lives under a
You said, of course, he knows. He doesn't
strip
know.
club.
Doesn't
I mean, a
know.
rock.
The
The Hot Ones show. Yes, you do, dude. Hold on. Stop.
If we were in,
No,
if we were
no,
in here,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no, no,
yes.
no,
One
no.
at a time.
Look what Daddy's got. I'm sorry. Continue. Go. No, go. I'll go after. Oh, what the? Oh my God. Can you?
I can't hear him.
Oh, isn't that weird? Steve's like, you give me airtime or else. And I'm like, you know what? I would give you airtime, but I'm too busy producing the show.
That's right.
And now, and now we're back. You have seen Hot Ones. Sean Evans, they bring on every celebrity you can think of and they eat hot wings from less hot to the most. You've never seen that?
I don't think so.
That's a vacant look.
Holy shit, dude.
But what I was going to say is,
We should have just done it.
So-
We should have just spread
so
it.
we- well, now
we're going to eat.
I'm bummed out,
We're going
right?
to eat hot wings.
So
Or-
the sauces range from like the lowest on the Scoville scale all the way to like
1 trillion.
4 million.
Like a
It's
national debt.
It's like you're gonna struggle. Everyone does. In fact, so we've seen it. How the fuck does Sean Evans do that every time?
He has some gene, I think.
Or they're not giving him the real sauces so he can interview. I had a theory about that.
Yeah, you're gonna do.
Dude, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give myself all the first sauce.
No, but they. Oh yeah, because the only one is the dab at the end.
Oh, he does do the dab, and we have to do the dab.
well, yeah.
Dude, how much fun would that be? So, do you like any spicy stuff?
The weird thing is I like it more than I used to.
But you don't do a ton of spice.
I don't do.
Would you be
usually a
down
lot.
to it?
I don't
Dude,
believe you.
when I say it's hot,
Try it.
He
I
goes,
mean fucking hot.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. I just don't. I don't enjoy it, so I don't tend to gravitate towards really spicy foods. But I don't.
Like what? How? Okay, hold on, real quick. How
Whatever.
spicy? Like, so when I like, here's the thing, because I'm thinking of chains because that's the only thing everyone could know. Like, you're not gonna know some random one-off restaurant around here if you're not from here. So like Pizza Hut, if I'm in a bind and I'm like, fuck, I need quick wings or something because I'm working, I don't have time to make something. Yeah. I get their buffalo burning hot and it's nowhere near hot enough. That's my.
I don't. That's not. I don't have that context. I don't know.
Okay.
So my context is the actual pepper, like.
Oh fuck that! I ain't just
habanero.
eat none.
Habanero.
You just chomp on one?
No. I'm saying my context.
sure.
That habanero is too hot.
How about jalapenos? Not pickled, regular jalapenos.
Hot.
But that's what you. That's about enough.
That's like where I want it.
So to be straight up and not some macho dude, I'm with you. I've eaten hotter and I can
So,
do it, but that's about
jalapenos?
what I like.
Habaneros
jalapenos.
are
Not pickled though, like fucking.
No,
they're a
straight
lot
up.
stronger when they're not in vinegar.
Yeah.
And watered out, whatever.
So straight up habanero. No, like way too hot.
So I wish I could look up context, but I want to say the hottest sauce is like, it makes, you could eat a raw ghost pepper and it's like hotter. It's stupid.
It's not
The
good.
other thing is like when you use the hotter sauces on that scale, to give you context, you have to use gloves. Are you supposed to use gloves?
You don't touch
Well, it
it.
makes sense, like because that's
Dude.
all that like OC spray is made up of. Is the
Oh yeah, he's
That's
got
right.
pepper spray.
the capsicum from the
How is,
sauces.
oh, did you know, by the way, two things. I want to know how being pepper sprayed really was. And the first thing though is, did you know birds can't taste capsaicin or capsicum, however you say it? They don't have the, whatever it is. I learned that at dinner with my immunologist brother-in-law. They don't have the thing. They
That is
can't
the
taste it.
Least interesting trivia I've ever heard.
Oh, fuck you. I love you.
We should bring a bird on to interview them, Daniel.
Well,
I bet this answer would be.
I was just gonna fucking shit on someone so hard, but it'd be so mean because they can't dish it back around here. How was being pepper sprayed? Was it really that bad?
Let me answer that.
Have you been pepper sprayed?
It's
I
like
have.
it's like being pregnant. It's like having a kid.
Wait, before
You
we
forget
go,
how bad it was after a while.
let me. How would you know how
Yeah,
having a kid
yeah.
is?
That's what they say about being
That's
having
the
a kid, I guess.
That was the best, and that's the best
I was
little
like-
Steve-ism right there.
You don't forget how
Yeah.
bad it is.
He's like, it's like giving birth out of
See,
your.
I do. Like I feel like right now I'm like I'd get sprayed again, but then when I do it, right after I do it, I'm like, why did I ever decide to do this again?
Well, that's right.
I would not.
Let me guess.
I did it
His was
twice.
voluntary. Yours was involuntary.
No, my.
That's gonna guess.
Oh, that's a real racist thing to say, or character based.
We're the same race. Like, you can still be racist against yourself.
Against your own race.
You oppressive white piece of shit, dude.
I did 2 things I would never do again in the same weekend:
Oh God,
bungee jump and get pepper sprayed.
you wouldn't bungee jump again,
Fuck no,
dude? Wouldn't something have to go wrong? Like, as in you're not here to not want to do it again?
No, I just did not. Enjoy
Was it
that.
actually fucking terrifying?
Yeah,
I would do it.
did not. Like
I would do it.
I would totally do it. Would you
Yeah.
go skydiving?
I've done that, and I would
This
do,
fucking guy.
I would-
He's
wanna
like you, except he's actually done the shit he says
I
he's
want to
done.
go skydiving.
Yeah, well, whatever, skydiving, but
Would you go skydiving tandem with me? Like together?
No, because I wouldn't trust either one of us to know when to pull the fucking cord.
Well, we'd have to. I'm not saying, dude, let's go jump out of Delta. We'd have to go to a fucking. What do you think? We're gonna get high enough to just jump as novices? I'm pretty sure there's safeguards that don't let you do that.
you can't tandem with him.
I'm like,
Why not?
I'm like, is a shoot pack right? You're like, yeah, it's
What do you mean?
it's a
Well, I mean, like going to. What was your little skit? Look, he's going.
it's a Lowe's tarp. It's not a parachute, but I'm pretty sure it's all good.
Like, I said the parachute. I'm like, it was on sale. All my money's in this fucking
I think we're accelerating.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh.
Yeah, you can't tandem with him.
Well, if well, I thought he would get the context. We'd have to be like licensed to go solo first.
yeah,
I don't mean we
yeah.
would just like, they're not going to let us do it. Too much liability, but without, how much fun would that be? And we do it nude just because we'll just kick it up a notch. You see your little Johnson flapping from the G-force.
Whoa, you got real hard at about 5,000
I'm like,
feet.
Steve, how come I don't feel anything from you flapping? And he's like, I don't know. It's like he's hanging on to it. It's like a safety rod. So we're doing the hot ones thing. I'm going to do that.
I'm pitching.
Well, you and I are doing it.
I'm pitching in.
Are you?
What do you mean you and I? We're all doing this one.
Oh.
He said
Daddy and Uncle Nate both told little Stevie what he's doing.
He said he doesn't bother him. Did you hear him?
Okay. So, Nate's pitching.
I'm not saying it wouldn't at some point.
Also, will you?
Whoa.
Hey, when we do this, I also need help because we got well, Kels is the fucking best. She'll fucking cook it and baste them and everything.
What I'm saying is she should not tell us what ones we're getting.
I think that's cool, but if we want to do, it's kind of, so here's two things. One, the show does it on purpose in order so that you can see the build. But two, I was reading comments on one of the videos thinking about this, and somebody said it's actually strategic too. Right. Because as you go up in intensities, it actually numbs. So, like if you jump right into the number 10, you're fucked. Yeah. I mean, you could literally have a panic attack. It's insane.
That and you also wouldn't be able to experience the next one. Like you'd be like, what? Okay.
Oh, that's right. It would taste like nothing. Right. So there is a purpose to the whatever.
To the progression. Yeah.
I'm not against straying from normal. I mean, we don't have to copy their shit, but it would be funny to see how we handle it. Because let's be real, none of us are ever going on fucking hot ones. So
back to your question.
What?
When I was
pepper
sprayed.
And this guy tries to say that I'm good at getting us back to baseline. That was, look at you.
Well, yeah, I want to answer this one.
Okay, I'm ready. Sorry.
I couldn't breathe. I was swallowing air and then just burping it back out. It was
terrible.
It was.
It does feel like you can't breathe.
So there is a suffocation thing, right? That like it's not real. Well, it's kind of real, but it's more so you're just panicking. Because you're like, I can't fucking breathe.
You're breathing, it feels like you're breathing fire.
People will be like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And you're like, you're breathing right now. Like, just calm yourself down. Like, take a deep breath. And
have you ever pepper sprayed someone on the job? Good. Look at this guy.
He's real.
Maybe we should talk about police work more. I'm scared. And again, probably shouldn't say this on camera, but I'm scared.
I think Jack would be a really good guy.
Like, I don't.
He would. I'm gonna reach out and ask him that outside of a party, so I could, it's not really. It's kind of a heavy thing. Hey, want to come on and
he might also be worried. Like it might be something better to do in a few years or whenever he's actually retired, because he might be concerned a little bit about the position.
So before I give you guys the question round, I always end with, I should say the same thing, and maybe as a teaser to whoever sees this whenever we put these the fuck out. Oh, and I have something to say about that too. That's the problem I'm finding with my brother-in-law is that we're just worried, and I don't think it's going to be an issue. And the thing is, I really like not cutting because I want it to be candid, everything. But if he says something that can get him in trouble at a pharmaceutical company, there's no, you don't get a choice. You've got to cut it. Yeah. And so I told him again, just like I told Jack, this is not I'm not going to like journalistically attack. I just want people to see you be a human. I just want to see your candid layman's take on.
And he might not be at all concerned about that. Like, just by saying this is just my opinion. But then again, the way people spin it, they can. He should be fired.
I know. We all know, but they don't. And that's one thing I won't pierce on because I don't know yet. We're thinking about producing a show for someone that is above board. I don't think they would just innately say something that would get us in hot water. But the topic itself, the brand of that is kind of wishy-washy right now because of some of the people in that community. So we're trying to discuss as a group if that's a smart move or not. Did you just breathe in?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say something, but I just decided not to.
Oh, I had something else to tell you. Oh, before I do the question around Nate, I gotta make Steve a shirt that has an 8 on it with a percentage sign. Mm-hmm. What should I haven't made the shirt yet. I'm designing it. If we start dropping our episodes and he doesn't share it on his Facebook, what should I design the shirt as then? 4? 5? What do you think?
I don't know, man.
Just a white shirt with a bunch of black question marks everywhere.
Just a TBD shirt. Less than sign.
Yeah.
Oh, less than sign.
Steve helped me I had to deliver some stuff I was getting not paid for, but I was trading goods for cigars. I put it on his Facebook, and instead of being able to joke about himself, he fucking deletes it.
Because
I'm expecting him to shit on me, be like, dude, fuck you, don't post this. Nothing, just fucking deletes it. I go to look to see, I'm like, I know he's going to roast me, so I go to look, it's gone.
What?
It was my first time.
Oh, this is a joke.
And it was rough, okay? Exactly.
Your little Boris one was pretty good though because you warmed up to it. I like the Boris one.
Yeah,
the Boris one's good. Watch the Boris one. Okay, I was kidding, but here's the question round I like to ask everyone because I'm a creative type. I like this kind of thing, and I like to see where people's, I guess their preference, favorites. I don't know. I'm gonna come straight down, and I'll give a new one every time I do it too. But we're gonna start with books we think everybody should read. Mine is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Nate, what do you think people are sleeping on? All right, Steve.
One, I haven't finished it yet, but Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Nice. It's on my wish list, by the way. I think you must have told me about
about halfway through it, a little over halfway through it.
Dude, I'm blanking out on books right now.
Give me anything you've read. Magazine. This Old House.
Oh, you know what? Millionaire Next Door. That's a good book.
You know who writes it? You don't need to. People can look it up.
Don't.
Good book, though.
Really good book.
A TV show or movie, a visual media, you think people are missing out on? I'm going to start with you because I need to think about mine.
The people are missing out on?
Or that you think, it doesn't matter, whatever you want. I always kind of go that way. You can just say one of your favorites. Doesn't matter.
Sling Blade.
Is that real?
Yeah. What?
Is that real?
Well, he said it with a face.
Obviously, they're missing out on it. If you
I
don't know
clearly am. What is
You've
it?
never seen Sling Blade?
Is that an 80s movie? Sounds like one.
I just need to get composed.
You're like,
he leaves the room.
You're like, let me get my color back first. He bites the fucking mic.
Billy Bob Thornton wrote it and then pulled like a Rambo thing where he was like, no, I'm the star of this movie. And they were like, oh, okay, whatever. And
you know Rambo was Sylvester Stallone, right? You're like, what? No, the fuck you.
Will Ferrell.
That was Billy Bob Thornton.
Will Ferrell. Sling Blade. I don't like Billy Bob Thornton.
No, Rambo. Oh, no, sorry, Rocky. Sylvester Stallone was like, I'm the star.
Yeah.
No, but Billy Bob Thornton was like 40, in his 40s, and he wrote this script, and then
really good.
Fucking awesome.
I'll watch it. He annoyed me with his getting pissed at a DJ one time. It's so fucking pretentious, and he's not like that, so it fucking turned me off. You, come on.
Jeez,
You've got one.
Elf.
Elf is fucking awesome. I'd say Elf.
I hate Elf, actually.
I mean, I really haven't.
Just say a favorite. It doesn't have to be anything. No one's going to judge you on how cool your pick is.
Little Mermaid.
I'm trying to think of a favorite. I mean, jeez,
I haven't heard that since 6th grade.
Cheese-um. Cheez-Its and rice.
Cheese and rice.
God, stop it.
Steve, this is supposed to be a lightning round.
I have no idea. I mean, I just think of what I've watched recently. But
how about Willy Wonka? You like that one?
I can't even go back. I'd have to take time to
James
think
and the Giant Peach.
That's a great movie.
What's one of your favorite movies?
One of my favorite movies.
I'm not going to answer for you.
Shutter Island. I
there
really
you go.
like.
You love that. Is a kick-ass movie. Mine this week or this episode is Snowpiercer, and watch it as if the
mushrooms.
The main character is the kid from Willy Wonka. Watch it thinking that. See what you
Charlie?
Think about. Yeah. Just think about it.
That's weird that I just said Charlie.
You're
the one that made me think of it.
If the main character is Chinese, I'm going to be very upset with you.
Why?
Or Asian, whatever you want to call it.
Why would it be?
Never mind.
Did I miss the joke?
I missed
Wait, I want it. What was it? Like, don't say you want it.
Because his name was Charlie. And if it was...
Oh, my God, dude. Vietnamese, dude.
Charlie.
Well, whatever. Asian.
I literally still don't get it.
The Vietnam War,
War,
they called the Viet Cong Charlie.
Oh, I'm not a racist, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, it was like really fucked up.
I literally did not know that.
That's why I said, I was like, if
the
main character is Asian, I'm going to be very upset with you.
Oh, dude, I changed mine.
What?
Train to Busan is one of the best zombie movies I've ever fucking seen.
Never seen it.
Didn't I watch it?
Fantastic. Korean movie, fantastic.
They have awesome.
Is it like
dude,
subtitles?
their horror movies
are fucked.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. It's fucking... You have to read. It is subtitled. Yeah, okay. There might be a dubbed version, but you don't even need the fucking dude. Just watch it. It's you'd like it. Okay.
I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in the theaters.
I did too when I was a kid. I loved it. I was in Kung Fu.
Tiger.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Hey Steve,
Crocheting Tiger.
Give me a song or an artist you think people need to hear, or one of your favorites, or whatever. Anyone. Steve acts like every question is life relies on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I just don't know. I don't have a lot of favorite things.
This fucking kid.
Like as far as media and even books or anything, I don't have a lot of.
What's your
favorites
favorite
in those
color?
categories.
You're like, I don't have one, dude. Every color's good.
I don't have favorite.
I think blue. I think. but I'm not like 100% sold on
Look
it.
at him. He's like, depends on. I mean, blue's good for something.
Blue's good for everything I'm wearing
Nate,
right
give me
now.
a song or an
Like certain
artist.
things though, like I really like orange for certain things. I don't know.
Tyler Childers.
You want to know something real funny?
No.
That's what I had in the chamber.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
He's fucking.
I just watched a live like acoustic thing with him, and I was mind blown. So I'm with you. Tyler Childers. Give me
I
anyone.
don't know who that is.
Give me anybody
Favorite artist?
or song. Anybody.
You know
my
who else?
OCD needs something from
I'm
you.
going to throw in Charlie Crockett too.
Nice.
Do you know Charlie Crockett?
I was just shown his stuff at a party I played, along with a bunch
the last
of
one?
yeah,
Like 2 days ago?
yep. And another guy I can't think of his name that sings like deeper than anyone I've ever heard. Looks like he's homeless. Fucking fantastic.
Deeper than the holler?
Way deeper than Randy. Give me anybody.
I'll say just for the sake of his vocal talent, be Michael Bolton.
Oh, dude, I knew you were going to say that, and I agree. Mike's fucking incredible. Starting with you and coming this way, podcast you think people should hear? That's the last one.
I don't listen to very many, but some of Lex Friedman's stuff, I like some of the people he's had on as guests, I really liked.
Okay, Nate, podcast.
Ooh, I don't even know who that is. I'll give a shout out to Scared to Death.
I like it. Yeah, you've talked about them at length.
Yeah.
They're good.
And
what?
Sorry. Well, he does another one called Time Suck.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like the name.
Times Suck or Time
Suck.
Time Suck. Like you're gonna lose a lot of time.
That's a good name.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good name.
Yeah.
My recommendation this week or this episode is this one or anyone on this channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back for another episode of one of the shows here in a little bit, even though you're probably seeing this at a different time. Steve Gould, Nate Paling, and I have been your host, Daniel Taylor.
Show him, Steve.